Welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast, strategies that help entrepreneurs build reputable and profitable brands. Here's your host, Henry Kaminski Jr.
So we were going to have a guest today on the podcast, and due to technical issues, we weren't able to have him. So what I did was I figured, you know what, let's just go and crank another episode. I haven't done one on my own for a while, so I figured let's get this party started a little bit and talk about a specific topic that I actually wrote an email about today, and sort of want to unpack it and go a little bit deeper with it, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that may be struggling with this and sort of want to bring some attention to it. And so let me just go here and get that part. Just had to do a couple of things before we get started here, because I like to do these podcast episodes while I broadcast live on Facebook. People ask me, why do you do that? Isn't it like a pain in the ass? And I was like, no, it's really not. If you have the right technology to do it, you'll be able to do it pretty easily. And I've actually taken some notes from other people that have really great podcasts, and they said that their reach and their viewership and their people that listen to their podcast is actually, it grows exponentially because they're hitting different platforms. And so I was like, dude, we definitely have to start doing that, because it's only going to help more people. And you got to get in front of people. You need an audience. And that's what I'm trying to set an example with when it comes to building my personal brand. So take notes. Success leaves clues. We've been doing really great with this podcast episode, with this podcast lately, and I want to keep up the great work. So anyway, getting into today's topic of conversation is feeling uncomfortable when you're building your brand. I can tell you from experience, and I'm going through it now a little bit myself, when you are building your brand and you're defining your brand's identity, you're going to get uncomfortable. There's going to be times where you're going to feel like you're out of control. It's like when you're on an airplane. I mentioned this in the email. When you're on an airplane and you go through massive turbulence, you feel like the freaking plane's going to crash. And next thing you know, the air smooths out and everything's fine, like nothing's ever happened. And there's going to be times where you feel like you're going to have to control everything inside of your business. Otherwise, it's going to fall to shit. Or you're going to feel like everything's unraveling at the seams. Everything's just out of control. And it's going to lead to imposter syndrome. And what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome, if you never heard of it, it's when you feel like you're a failure, like you're not worthy of doing what you do. And it happens to the best of us. And what happens is, certain things happen inside your business, and it makes you feel like you don't deserve clients. You don't deserve the business. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve that. And all that negative energy starts to play on you. And what happens is you start to fall apart. And the problem with that is it doesn't lead to success. It doesn't lead to anything good. So I always try to start the day off with positivity. I always start the day off with feeding this big old head of mine, this big brain filled with positivity, because that's what gets you through the day. That's what starts you out with success. And that's what's going to lead to success in the future. And so as we all go through this entrepreneurial journey together and individually, we're going to feel like things are out of place. And the more you grow, the more you feel uncomfortable, right? Because you're coming out of your comfort zone. You don't know if it's going to work. It may work. It may not work. You're feeling out the audience, you're feeling out yourself, and you're pushing your limits. And that is what builds brand identity. So when you're going through these growing pains, you're going to find out what works and what doesn't work. And the piece of advice that I could give you today is this: it's going to be okay. Everything's always going to work out. It will, one way or the other. It's not going to be the end of the world, I promise you. And you have to understand that if you want to create something different inside of your brand, you have to do different things, right? So I have this mantra in my head ever since January 1 hit. We had a great year last year. And I said, I want to do better. I don't want to have the same year as 2017. So what do I need to do? I need to do different things. I need to do different things, because if I want the same results, all I have to do is continue to do the same things. But that's not what I want. And so I'm asking you the question today. Are you comfortable? Are you happy with the results that you're getting inside of your brand and inside of your business? Are you happy with them? And if you are, awesome. Continue to do the same things that you're doing. Obviously, something's working. But if you're like me and you're always trying to level up, you're going to have to do different things. So every morning when I wake up, I ask myself, what can I do different today that I did than when I did him January 19th, 2017? And I started, and then whatever comes to me, that's what I take action on. For example, I've gotten very involved with LinkedIn lately. I found tons of opportunity on LinkedIn. So I'm spending a lot more time on LinkedIn in 2018 so far than I have ever done in 2017. I've probably been in LinkedIn more times this year than I did the entire year last year. I'm investing in a mentor to help me with my processes, to refine the processes inside my business so that it leads to a better customer experience for my customers. So customer experience is very, very important to me. I want to make sure that we start the job with the same enthusiasm as how we finish the job. And I understand and I know that there's room for improvement. So what did I did? I invested a bulk of money and I put it towards refining my process. Now, as we refine my process, there's going to be times where things are going to get a little loose. And I have to keep my anxiety down and know that I have a team behind me that is supporting everything that I do. And so when I had my team meeting today, I was a bit frazzled because there was a few things, sort of loose ends, if you will, that I wasn't happy with, that I wanted to correct. And I knew that I had to believe in my team and believe in my process in order for those things to happen. And then I realized that it wasn't all on me and on my shoulders, that there was a few external things that happened that, listen, they happened. You just have to make it right. And basically, the next time you get all that information up front, so there's no back and forth at the last minute. That's sort of the refining and the refinement. So yes, things are going to feel uncomfortable when you're building your brand. But look at it this way, guys. That means you're growing. That means you're doing something different. And that means that you're better today than you were yesterday. You're better today than you were yesterday. So I want to get this through to you guys. I want you to understand that if you want different results in your brand, if you want to create a strong brand identity, stronger than you did last year, you have to do different things. You just have to do different things. It's insanity to think that you're going to continue doing what you're doing and have a different result. You heard it all the time. And I'm starting to hear that quote. What was it, Einstein? Who said that over and over and over again? because that's the only way you're going to grow. That's it. And so it's okay. It's okay to feel uncomfortable when you're growing your brand identity because you're doing different things. And that's today's message. So I want to challenge you guys today, and I want you guys to ask yourself, am I doing things differently this year than I did last year if I want different results, if I want better results? Patrick Sullivan says, I'm working on that right now. That's awesome. And so if you don't mind, Patrick, in the comments, what are some of the things that you're doing that is different, that you're trying to test and tweak? I would love to get your feedback on that, and help the viewers that may be struggling with this themselves. And that is the key to growth. That's the key. So listen, I know it's not fun to be outside of your comfort zone. I know a lot of you guys want 100% control of your branding and of your messaging and of your business. And it's impossible to do if you want to scale. If you want to scale your business, you have to let go of some of that control, and you have to delegate it out, and you have to believe in those people. Otherwise, you're going to spin on that hamster wheel over and over and over again. So Patrick says he's telling my crazy story and about his life and getting his face out there. That's right. I mean, my mentor told me that 5-6 years ago when my website was a beautiful website. However, there was no personality of Henry on it. And he was like, you got to get that personality out there more. That's what's going to help you connect with your audience. And that's what's going to help you build your brand identity, because other people are going to react to it. They're going to give you feedback. They're going to respond to it. And then you're going to realize, oh, this actually resonates with people. This is relevant, right? And that's what's going to help you tremendously build your brand. And so, yes, guys, things are going to feel uncomfortable and things are going to be weird. You just have to be okay with it. Be okay with it. And listen, the one thing that I can tell you today that's going to help you for years to come is to be transparent with your clients. I'm running a brand accelerator program now, which is probably version 4.0. Okay. And I have 1 or 2 people going through this program, and they're the first 2 to work through the program at this level, at this process model. And I told them straight up, listen, you're going to bear with me. My mentor, who works with multi-million-dollar brands, gave me this process, and it works because his businesses the brands that he's building, he charges $250,000 for. And he uses the same process. And so he's generously given me this process and is helping me work through it and refine it and build it so that I can use it for my clients. So I tell my client the other day, we're going through this process together, and I just want you to bear with me. There may be some times we're going to feel a little shaky, but guess what? I believe in this process because it works for him at that level, and I know it'll work for us. And the transparency there helped this client understand that I was a real dude that was going through a real transition. And he was completely cool with it. And he was like, dude, thank you so much for telling me this. Makes me feel more confident in you and more comfortable with the process. I get it. I've done it. I've coached my clients on this same issue. So let's go. And so when you do that, you build a tremendous amount of trust. And without trust, nothing else happens. Nothing. So Patrick says, I want to help others know that without an education, you could build any business. Yeah. Listen, you could do anything you want. He said he made $500,000 in 2 years with my transport business. That's phenomenal. I congratulate you, Patrick. That's freaking awesome. So there you have it, guys. Let's do a quick little recap, and then I'll send you on your weekend. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Listen, when you're building your brand identity, things are going to get uncomfortable. Things are going to feel shaky. Things are going to feel out of line. You're going to lose control a little bit. You're going to get anxious. The gut in your stomach, the pit in your stomach is going to really start to gnaw at you. But you got to know that that's okay. And you're going to be okay. Just continue to grow, continue to build, continue to make yourself uncomfortable. Why? Is because that's how you grow. And if you want something different to happen in 2018, then you got to do something different. Starting today. And if you need help with this, I got your back. That's why I have the brand audit service. And that's why the brand doctor's here to help you sort of look at what's going on inside of your business right now, find out what can be improved, and how we can take action on it to get you the results that you want to get. The answers are right underneath your nose. You just got to take the time and work with the right people to get that done. So there you have it, guys. Have an amazing weekend, and I will catch you on the next episode. Talk to you soon, guys. Take care.
You've been listening to the Brand Doctor Podcast with Henry Kaminski Jr. To get your appointment with the doctor, visit Brand Audit at www.uniquedesignz.net.